What is up, and welcome back to the SuperCoach Experience podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Savage, the coach of the Savage Burbos. The New South Wales have defeated the Queensland Maroons 14-2. What a game. That was such a good game. SuperCoach ramifications from that, it was a massive arm wrestle, and a lot of players are going to be banged up. So don't expect, if you have any of the players to back up. I think the Cowboys have come out and said they're going to back up. They do have a bye in a couple of weeks. The Broncos are in a must-win situation. I'd be surprised if they back up, but don't expect them to. I think you've got to plan for your players not to back up, but hopefully everybody's in a pretty good situation and can deal for the carnage in case it comes. Mitch Moses out for the season with a bicep injury. Dylan Edwards is out 4 weeks. That's a massive blow to owners. I know a couple of people who held on to Dylan Edwards just thinking he's got a good run home. He's out for 2 to 3 weeks, maybe up to 4 weeks now. So if you held on to him, I think if you've got limited trades, I'd probably hold on to him, just mainly because a lot of the fullbacks at the moment, their draws don't really open up until round 23, round 24. I think Reece Walsh is the exception, but with Reece Walsh, he actually doesn't. He got injured the other night, so I'd be surprised if he comes out and puts on a massive score to the Knights this week. But maybe you go early on Ponga. But honestly, I think if you're low on trades, just hold on to him because he's got a really good draw for the run home. And the Panthers, we know how they finished the season. It's going to be really good. But yeah, like Tommy Trbojevic, he plays the Titans this week at 4 points. It's pretty good. But then he's got the Roosters and the bye. Ponga, he plays the Broncos this week, and then next week he has the bye, and then he plays Penrith. So his draw over the next couple of weeks isn't that good either. So I think with all these fullbacks that we want to get into our side, none of them are really appealing right now. So by the time these players and their draws are really good, Dylan Edwards will be back. So maybe worth holding on to him. I get if you need to sell him, and I know it's a lot of biggie to have on the sideline, but it's something to consider for sure, just considering how the fullbacks are going at the moment. So I'm going to answer your questions that I put out on the SC Experience Instagram. But first, I need to shout out August 10th. We are running an event. This is the first time I've officially announced it. August 10th, we are running an event at Drinkwest Brewery. It is at Penrith on Mulgall Road. And it starts at 2 p.m. It's a head-to-head finals party. We've got guests like Tom Sangster, we've got the Cast Patrol, we've got Winston Neville coming, we've got potentially Nathan Cleary. We don't know, he's not officially locked in yet, but we can kind of softly say that he might be there. Tyson Pedro will be there. There will be the Cast Patrol, Malakowitini Zelezniak, the Gaias, and we've got a few other little guests here and there. We'll be giving out prizes throughout the day. We will be giving out prizes. The audience will be getting involved within games and stuff. So if you come along, you get a chance to get a few freebies, and it's going to be a massive day out for pretty much a party for the head-to-head finals for the end of the year. So shout out to Drinkwest Brewery, August 10th, 2 p.m. We will be getting flyers up very soon, so keep an eye out for that on our socials. But lock in the date right now because you don't want to miss out. The capacity is like 120, so you don't want to miss out. So make sure you are there. Let's go to our Instagram, and we've got Buffalo Rez. Is it time to sell a Zarko? So he was always going to be a buy round option just because he's a goal kicker, he's a winger, he scores tries, and his draw from this point, it's not very good. So I would sell him. I didn't buy him for that reason. Yes, he had some juicier matchups throughout this period, but I think I'd sell him. I don't think he's in the top 5 centre wings for the run home. His draw is pretty nasty. So I would definitely sell a Zarko. For someone like, if you don't have Karaz, I'd go Karaz. If you don't have Young, I'd go Dom Young. If you don't, I wouldn't go Marju. If you don't have Garrick, go Garrick. So I think Karaz, Young, Garrick are at least the top three. I don't think Izarko's in there, and I think you can go some pods like Tungo might be a nice little pod to end the year, so I like that. Steve Kramer, this is very Supercoach relevant. Is Olakau'atu a hold? So he got suspended for joining in on the melee when he was suited up on the bench, and it feels like it's an Olakau'atu thing to do. He's been really good for us this year, but this is just dagger. He didn't really get involved that much, so don't blame him for getting involved, to be honest. A bit harsh in saying that, but I'm holding personally because I think by the time he comes back, it'll be, I think I'll be aiming to get Crichton around the time he comes back anyway. So may as well hold on to him. And I think if a lot of people sell, they're not going to have the luxury to buy him back. So I think he'll be a nice pod for the run home, and Manly have a good draw for the last few weeks. Mickey Hand, thoughts on Dane Laurie as a 3-week play, then to Ponga? I actually really like that, but I did see reports that as a Yongi is going to make his debut this week, so I would hold and wait out for that. But if you've got plenty of trades and he does get named, I don't mind it. That being said, he's already made a lot of cash and he's already 450k or 500k at the moment already. KO optimal performance. Is Pap a good buyer whilst waiting for Ponga price to drop? Now, Pap plays the Roosters this week, and then I think over the next couple of weeks, Pappenhausen does have a pretty good draw. I will get the draw up. Just forgive me while I lag a bit, but they have the Roosters this week. Then they got Parramatta, St. George, and by the time you want to go to Ponga, which is round 23, they have South Sydney. So you could take or leave that matchup, and you can go to Ponga that week. They do have Penrith the week after, so by round 24, you would want to swap. But I don't hate the play. I think Pappy is the forgotten man, but I haven't seen enough from Pappy and him getting involved to want to get him in my side. Huey98, is Dylan Edwards a sell with news being out to 2 to 4 weeks? I did touch on that before. I think it purely depends on trades, like who you're going to go to. If you're going to go to Tommy Trbojevic long term, I think he's a good option. He's got a good matchup this week. Roosters and then the bye the week after. I think he can score well against the Roosters, maybe 70. He scored well against the Roosters early on in the season. I think he got like 80, 90 points. So I think Tommy is the guy, but if you want to wait out for Ponga, I don't know. It just depends. Do you prefer Edwards or do you prefer Tommy for the run home? Because if you prefer Edwards, I'd hold on to him. Short term, it's not really going to benefit you getting Tommy right now. Maybe for this week as a captain option, but it really depends on your gut feeling. Like, I've got Tommy and I'm very happy I've got him this week, and he's got the Canberra Raiders the week after. Dylan Edwards won't be back by that point, so maybe Tommy's the guy. He's the most traded in this week for a reason as well. He looked really good last week. Liam Harry, Dylan Edwards out. Should I hold him for head-to-head if I sell to Ponga, Walsh or Turbo? Got Tedesco. Yeah, I think as I said before, it just depends what you want. I think for the head-to-head finals, go Turbo. I think Turbo's a good play. You bank money from it. If it helps you with other trades, then 100% go for it. That's something I didn't consider before. So you bank like 160k off it or something. If that helps you make another trade somewhere else that's really crucial for you, then perfect. Lil Long 01, will Luai be a good run home for Supercoach? He's gone to another level, and just before he went off to Origin, he scored 3 tons in a row, and he was gunning for his 4th. He didn't quite get there, but I think with Cleary coming back, he will take a back seat, but I don't think he'll be as bad as he was early in the season. He's 806k. I wouldn't spend 806k on it, but here is his last 4 scores. 61, 130, 102, 124, 73. That's 5 scores. Really good. Like, considering how bad the 5'8 spot is, they've got a good draw home. They've got, when he comes back, they'll have St. George, Newcastle, Parramatta, Melbourne, Canberra, South, Gold Coast. Maybe Luai's, Maybe. I think if you've got the luxury to fork out that much, I don't mind it. RJ Wads, have Edwards and Sharp combo can flick Campbell down to 5'8 to get Birdo, Teddy or Tom. I'd get Teddy. Teddy's going to hurt you if you don't have him in your side. I guarantee that. He has not scored under 79 since I think round 6 or something. He's the number one scoring Supercoach player in the game at the moment. When head-to-head finals comes around, round 23, he does have the bye, but then he's got Parramatta, Gold Coast and Canberra, who he's already scored big scores against this year. So I think you've got to have James Tedesco in your Supercoach side. So I would 100% go to Teddy. Are you selling two of them? If you have Edwards and Sharp, can flick Campbell down to 5'8". Sam Eves, Turbo versus Walsh versus Pappy for the run. If it's for the run home, Turbo's your guy. He's got a good draw. Walsh, I think he has to do a lot to get a lot. And Pappy and Turbo are quite similar, but I feel like Pappy is elevated into that next level when he's goal kicking, and he's not goal kicking. Joseph Vinter, is Lomax a sell at his price, and B, would you be a couple of replacements of years? I actually think he'll gain a lot of confidence from that Origin series, and he will score well. If you've got the luxury and you've got a few trades, I would sell him on if there's someone like a Karaz or a Dom Young that you don't have, but I actually don't mind him as a player. I think he still will score points. So he's not urgent, but if there's someone you really want, I don't mind cutting ties with him for that reason. Rugby League, trade Ola to Angus. I wouldn't do it this week. I'd wait a week, wait a couple of weeks. If it's your only avenue, I don't hate it, but it also depends on what your second row looks like. If you've only got 2 gun second rowers and Ola's one of them, I wouldn't do it. I'd be trying to build the cash to do it elsewhere. Aaron Chevalier, sell Ola if he's out for 3 games and a bye, so he's missing 4 weeks. I think he comes back at a good time. It's purely team-based situation, so if you feel like you need to do it, I don't think it's a bad move. I don't think he's going to hurt you, but Manly in the last... let me get Manly's draw up. Where is a Manly player? So, Manly... in the last few weeks, so they've got round 23, they've got Canberra. Will he be missing there? 1, 2. He will be missing that game. So he comes back, plays the Warriors. The Warriors might be dead and buried. And we saw late last year versing the Tigers and versing the Bulldogs when the Bulldogs were dead and buried and the Tigers were dead and buried, that he went massive against them. So I would be holding. And then he plays the Tigers the week after. So I'd hold. He plays the Tigers in the head-to-head preliminary finals. So make of that what you will. Nick Bozzik, is a madness to sell Grant for Starling, run 2 cheap hookers with Simpkin. Don't do it. Seriously, Grant he might be a bit ginger at the moment. He might not back up, but long term, you want Grant in your side. If he is fit, that is. Campus, 11 trades, 470k, Edwards, Turbo, and then DCE to Burt, and then DCE or Burton. I think Burton's the priority. I'd look at getting DCE after their bye, but I think you're in a good spot. So whatever you feel is best, go for. But I think Burton and Edwards to Turbo is perfect. Is Ola a sell? Reece Mills, yes or no, depending on teams. I'd say no. Do Queensland get Origin, says Ben Waller 91. No, they don't. Unfortunate. I'm sorry, Queensland listeners. Great Origin game. New South Wales came on top, though. Lachlan Tricky, which buy hurts the most? Kalen Ponga, Manly Tom, Garrick Manly, or Roosters Teddy? Or Crichton? It's a tricky question. Lachlan Tricky asked that question. I think you've got a plan for all of them. I don't think any of the buys hurt. I'd say the Roosters buy is the most awkward because it's the first week of head-to-head finals, but at the same time, you're not going to get rid of Teddy, so it doesn't really hurt. A lot of people have Teddy, so it's not too bad. I think it hurts Tommy because it hurts buying Tommy right now because you've got to buy for him in 2 weeks. George Achildak. I have both Reese and Coruscant with 14 trades. Should I trade out one of them? You've got a lot of trades, so you can. I don't think it's worth it. You've got 2 gun hookers. Just ride with it for this week and use your trades elsewhere in high upside positions. I think you're gonna really enjoy that for the rest of the season, having them trades. And like Hooker, Robson and Coruscant are good things to have. Yeah, they're not fully available this week. Even if they do play, they're not fully all there. I get it, but they could still come out. If they play, there's still every chance to score a try. So they're a good thing to have. But yeah, that's it for the Q&A podcast. Thank you for tuning in. But make sure to keep August 10th free at 2 p.m. Drink West Brewery, Penrith. That's all I have to say. Good luck with your SuperCoach.